Okay, so for this one, in the examples in the packet that I give out, I call it stacking, but the idea is that you're just gonna put another little box on top of another one so that this looks like it's sitting on top of a larger one. Okay, and this one's pretty simple to do. So you can see over here I drew a box, just like I did over here. I started with a rectangle or a square, it could be a square. Every corner I drew back to the vanishing point. This one was the one that's on the opposite side, so I just tried to use some dash lines. And then again, I just closed off, just like I had done in the front, I closed off the side, I closed off the top, and again, just kind of followed what I did on the front to know which lines to connect to what. And I've got this, rectangular cube shape here. And so I'm there. And so then what I'm gonna do is make it look like there's another little box sitting on top. And but to do that, all I have to do is draw another box and basically just make it fit somewhere in this plane. Okay, so I would start it the same way. I could use a rectangle or a square. So I'm just going to kind of pick this spot right here. So this one's just sort of a simple effect. In some ways it's sorry, my light kind of slipped. In some ways, it's almost like if you're drawing the top of a building and then wanted to have like a little, say you're drawing the air conditioning unit on the roof, or, it could even be a little part of the elevator that pops up to the very top of the building. So you'd of course have to scale it. But that's kind of what this, this would be. So you can see I just started the same way. I drew a rectangle, all right, to start it. So this time I just made my rectangle, instead of horizontal, I flipped it and made it vertical. Okay. And see, I could have had it more here. I could have had it a little bit further back, or, sort of it was higher on the paper, so it would look like it'd sit further back, but I just kind of picked that spot. Okay, and I'm gonna kind of erase some of these lines from the big box. These are just some of those lines I used to draw the big box. Just so there's a little less stuff there. Okay. So I've got this, and all I do is just turn it into a box. And again, it's gonna look like a smaller shape that's sitting on top of the larger one. So like I said, this one's actually pretty simple. The biggest thing is just to make sure that that first rectangle or square that you draw is somewhere in the top plane of the one below it. So again, here we go. Okay, and then if I want this to hang off the back, see, like there's the back of the larger one, then I'd go past it. Okay, I can more or less draw my line there. Okay. Or if I wanted to not hang off, kind of sit a little more in the middle, I could kind of do it there and draw the line up. Okay. Or if I want to do, and this is probably what I'll do, if I wanted to go to the very back and sit right against the back edge, see where these two cross, then that's what I'll do. So like my line's going to go straight up, it's just going to be from there. Okay, so I go straight up. And then I just need to define the top. Okay, so it's a box. And again, depending on what you have to do to it, you can draw these little dash lines to show the inside, and then of course create the back of it. But for what I'm doing on this one, I don't need to draw every little bit of it. Okay, so again, and I'll just try to do this quickly. If I can line up my ruler correctly. Everything that would be visible, you're going to outline in ink. Just so it looks cleaner, and I kind of went past that a little bit. That's okay. And see this one, it's only, it's gonna go to there, and then pick up again back here. So of course I want that little tiny box to be the one that's in front, so I don't want to draw an ink line through it. And 2 more lines here. And that's it. Okay, so bigger box and another one sitting on top. They're both in perspective. And again, I see how I drew it, so it looks like it's just sitting on the very back edge. And like I said, if I wanted it to extend past, I would have, you know, instead of drawing my vertical line there, I would have gone back further and gone up. And then of course all this would have changed. Or if I wanted it to look like it's a little more in the middle, I could have picked like a spot right there and then draw my line up there. And of course this would change too. But that's it. That is stacking. And again, just like the other one, and here's one, you'll have to do 2 examples of it. So, you know, you could draw another one over here, somewhere over here, you know, over here in this corner. Or if you really wanted to get fancy, since you already drew this, you could just draw a little box sitting on top of here. And then you have one example of the tracking and one example of stacking. Okay, you can kind of combine things as you go. But you need to show me 2 examples of, you know, everything.